2007, I visited Section 60 of Arlington National Cemetery, where American soldiers were freshly interred. To date, 3,615 U.S. troops have been killed while serving in Iraq. Afterwards, I headed across the street to the Sheraton National Hotel, owned by right-wing Korean cult leader Sun Myung Moon, to meet some of the war in Iraq's most fervent supporters at the College Republican National Convention.
Sometimes you have to think about what this war is in context of, greater wars like World War II. I mean, it makes you wonder whether the American people could even stomach something like going through another World War II.
We are all supportive of the war. We all believe that it's very important to win the war and to fight Al-Qaeda in Iraq so that we're not fighting them here in the United States.
Not even just Al-Qaeda, the Islamic fascism that's occurring now. That's a big deal.
I like the Republican standpoint, fight them over there, not over here.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're doing right now, and we should keep doing it.
Basically, I think what people don't understand is if it's not fought in Iraq, if we don't win over there, it's going to happen here.
I think, frankly, we went there because Al-Qaeda was already there. They may not have the force they have now, but they were there. And essentially, if we leave there, we give them a stronghold.
But while these college Republicans supported the war in Iraq with all their hearts, they seemed reluctant to participate in it.
Why are you not fighting them over there?
Why am I not fighting them over there? Because I'm in college right now.
Do you plan to enlist?
I haven't ruled it out.
Are you going to serve?
I've thought about it, thinking about it, undecided.
Undecided. Why aren't you serving just currently?
Well, I'm an undergraduate right now, and I just had a scholarship for Fulbright Futures, and I didn't have any strong urge.
Why am I not serving?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I really support this country strongly, and I didn't enlist. I mean, there's not much else I could say. I don't think you can't talk about this issue if you're not serving.
What might not convince me not to join is if somehow I become like a really good speaker and stuff like that. That's what would convince me not to join.
Yeah.
I think that would convince me to join is if something even bigger happened.
If you support the war, why are you not serving in the military?
Yeah.
For some reason, the college Republicans I met had a curiously high level of health problems.
I have asthma, so it's kind of a hard thing to get in if you have health conditions like that.
You were in ROTC. Are you planning to serve?
I unfortunately cannot because of medical reasons.
So you support the war and are you planning on enlisting?
No, I'm thinking about the reserves. I applied to the Air Force Academy, but I got rejected for medical reasons.
Are you personally planning on enlisting?
Unfortunately, I can't do a medical reason. I had an injury, and I'm sure there's a couple others, but if I could, I would.
Why don't I list? I actually tried. I have knee problems.
Knee problems?
I was a catcher for years in baseball.
I'm more career-oriented, I guess, than actually serve.
Yeah. So you're kind of like a Cheney Republican, like you have better things to do.
I don't think it's for me.
Yeah.
Because,
Right, everyone has their role.
Yeah. And I was a football player and all that kind of stuff, but then I don't know if at the same time if I could handle some of the training that they go through and some of the intense stuff they have to do. So,
even with a daunting challenge in Iraq, the college Republicans remained resolute about winning the culture war at home.
If you don't believe abortion it doesn't affect you, I contend it affects you in immigration. If we had those 40 million children that were killed over the last 30 years, we wouldn't need the illegal immigrants to fill the jobs that they are doing today. Think about it.
I don't mind gays having regular privileges because they're citizens and all, but they should not receive special privileges from above everyone else.
Right.
That's not what we're made for. I think God didn't create us to forget.
So it's Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve.
Right. Everyone's...
How awesome is that?
You did not just say that. You did not just say that. Oh my goodness.
A lot of people say that.
Everybody at one time in their life has had inclination towards towards the same sex. But just because you have inclination does not mean you're gay. Because if you have inclination because you're curious and stuff like that, but if you accept it and then you just suppress your feelings and you pray about it to God and you know that you are so much stronger than some other people.
Have you accepted it?
Yes, I have accepted it. I've prayed about it to God, and I know for a fact that I am not gay.
Congratulations.
On a personal level, I've had the opportunity to greet the President as he stepped off Air Force One. I've had the ability to meet the First Lady and almost every single member of our cabinet, which is unbelievable for somebody at the age of 23 years old.
Though the college Republicans weren't willing to engage the evildoers over there, they were eager to battle them over here.
You have the energy, you have the wherewithal, you are really on the battlefield yourself in your own campuses.
It sounds like it's almost like a war on campus.
It is. Honestly, like the Republicans on college campuses are a lot more active than the Democrats, so like it kind of counteracts the numbers.
It's kind of like a war, and you guys are like better trained. And
we have the better troops, exactly. It's like the U.S. sending in like special forces against a huge Iraqi army. It's like...
But before I could go on, I was identified as a member of the liberal media.
Can't have you filming Tom DeLay. So if you just walk up here with me. I'm just asking you to follow me right now.
Without explanation, we were sequestered into a corner and forbidden from filming.
Please come with us. Please come with us. I mean, we're obviously not going to force you out physically, but please leave.
Can I step over here? Am I allowed to step over here? Can I step over here?
Sorry.
I'm doing interpretive dance.
Now you're making sense.
Excuse you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing interpretive dance. Please don't touch me.
You're being a disturbance.
Don't touch me. Is this how Republicans handle their problems with violence? Is this how they handle their problems with violence? Is this how college Republicans handle their problems?
I went home and missed the festivities planned for that evening. From what I heard, the liquor flowed and the college Republicans partied through the night. The following day, 3 American soldiers were killed while serving in Iraq.
Ladies and gentlemen, one last time, please welcome your 2003 to 2007 President of the Young Democrats of America, Chris Galloway. Music.
Thank you, and welcome to the 2007 Young Democrats of America National Convention Awards Banquet. Tonight serves as the closing ceremony on what has been an amazing week and an amazing few years for the Young Democrats of America. Please join me in honoring America by standing for the national anthem to be sung tonight by the National Committeewoman for the Young Democrats of Indiana, Ms. Shanika Pridgeon.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy your dinner. The program will begin again shortly. Once again, here's President Chris Galloway.
We're ready to get on with the rest of our program today. The sooner we start, the sooner we can finish. I want to first start with doing some recognitions tonight. I'm not sure if the outgoing president does the recognitions because he's less likely to mess up the names, or if that's just the tradition, but I'm going to try not to. First, our executive committee members for the previous 2 years, in alphabetical order. The chair of our minority caucus from Maryland, Tashia Broggins. The chair of our disability issues caucus from the Commonwealth of Virginia, Danielle Davis. The chair of the rural caucus from North Dakota, Jeff Hoffman. The chair of the labor caucus from Ohio, Greg Holcomb. This next one better get a big applause. The chair of our college caucus from Arkansas, Luther Lowe. The chair of our women's caucus from the Commonwealth of Virginia, Atima Amara Owala. The chair of our high school caucus from California, Jonathan Padilla. The chair of our Jewish caucus from Pennsylvania, Josh Pasick. The chair of our GLBT caucus from West Virginia, Jeremy Slaughter. The chair of our Judicial Council from Maryland, Darren Parks. Our administrative director from the great state of Illinois, Brian Cross. The chair of our State President's Association from the great state of Georgia, Billy Joyner. My chief of staff for 4 years for the Young Democrats of America, who couldn't be with us tonight because he's just moved to Michigan, but prior to that was from Georgia. Our chief of staff, Dr. Jeff Lake. Our communications director from the state of California, Crystal Strait. Our community service liaison from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Anna Weisweiler. Our congressional liaison from the great state of Georgia, Flora Brooke Hessa. We'll do the officers at the end, but Giovanni Garibay is our Democratic National Committee man from the great state of Texas. Lauren Goods, our Democratic National Committee woman from the great state of Ohio. Our Executive Vice President from Arizona, Alexis Tamarone. Our General Counsel from the great state of New Mexico, Alexis Blitzman. The International Affairs Liaison from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and your favorite convention co-chair, Clinton Bench. The Issues Liaison from Arkansas, Dwayne Bensing. Our Legislative Liaison from Florida, Omar Khan. The Membership Director from the great state of New York, Tara Martin. Our Operations Director from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Deirdre Dostu. The Organizing Director from the great state of Washington, Hillary Hunt. Our Parliamentarian from Arizona, Kevin Bondelli. The President Emeritus from the great state of Georgia/Arizona, Scott Butler. The Secretary from the great state of Washington, Rob Dolan. The Treasurer from the great state of Illinois, Christopher J. Anderson. The Vice President for Development from the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, Francisco Domenech. The Vice President for Programs from the state of Tennessee, Chris Anderson. The Vice President for Students and Youth from the state of Nebraska, Jeff Liana. Also from Illinois, and also the Director of the Great Lakes Region, Christopher J. Anderson. Emily Beer, the Director of the South Central Region from Texas. Kevin Bondelli from Arizona is also the Director of the Southwest Region from Arizona. Michael Gilberg is the director of the Northeast region from New York. Mr. Robert Hooks from Mississippi is the director of the Southeast region. John Owens Ream from Nebraska is the chair of the Midwest region. Rod Snyder from West Virginia is the director of the Mid-Atlantic region. Josh Blevins has been the chair of our chapter building committee from Arkansas. Dominic Gabello, the chair of our campaign committee from the Commonwealth of Virginia. Jeremiah Garrettson from Tennessee, the chair of our Affirmative Action and Outreach Committee. A little known chair of our Site Selection Committee from the great state of Texas, David Hart. Rachel Cow Taylor from California, who chaired our Platform Drafting Committee. Kathy North from Oklahoma, the chair of our Finance Committee. Jody Weissler from Michigan, the chair of our Budget Committee. Elizabeth Macias from Texas, the chair of our Credentials Committee. Kirk Miller from Georgia, the chair of Rules and Charter. Rachel Morris from Oklahoma, the chair of Resolutions. Your executive committee members, thank them all very much for their service. I'd also like to thank our convention officers from this weekend, our co-chairs Clinton Bench and Juan Ayala, our convention secretary Rocky Fernandez, our sergeant at arms Brian Cross, our parliamentarian Michael Gilberg, the chair of our Charter and Rules Committee Darren Parks, the chair of our hardworking Platform Committee Lindsay Barrett, and the chair of our Credentials Committee from Arizona Kevin Bondelli. I'd also like to ask all of our members of our national committee, committeemen, committeewomen, and state presidents to please stand and be recognized. This is the governing body of the Young Democrats of America in between these national conventions. I'd also like you to stand if you're a national, regional, or caucus officer of the Young Democrats of America. If you're a state chapter leader or officer of the Young Democrats of America, please stand. If you're a chapter leader of a local chapter or local officer, the real grassroots of our organization, please stand. You are all the activists and the leaders that keep the organization going year in and year out, and we appreciate your work. And now, to introduce some other folks who every day, day in and day out, work to keep our organization running, our tremendous, talented, and dedicated national staff, whom I am all proud to call my friends and coworkers. I'd like to introduce to you the Executive Director of the Young Democrats of America, Alexandra Acker.
Hi, everyone. So I know that you're probably enjoying your lovely dessert and there might be an alcoholic beverage on your table, but this is very important, so I'm going to ask you to be quiet and pay attention. I first want to recognize our 5 wonderful state executive directors, and it is my great hope that 2 years from now we'll have a lot more of them up on this stage. First, from the wonderful state of California, Stacey Berger. Come on up here. Next, from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Mr. Paul McCrell. You gotta walk faster than that, Paul. I'm gonna keep going. From the state of Arkansas, Gary Moody. Is Paul coming? There he is, okay. From the state of Arizona, Stan Williams. And from the state of Georgia, Tim Carroll. And you too can have a staff member up here. See us afterwards. I next want to thank our wonderful DC staff, starting with our newest national staff member, Ramon Gardenhire, our Director of State and Local Programs. Next, the man who many of you talk to when you have a problem, but who does so much more than that, Steven Zygmunt, our Director of Operations. Andrea Pagano, our wonderful Finance Director, who is going to recruit every single one of you to be a Tomorrow Club member. And our political director, Tony Connie, who wears more hats than I can even count. This is your wonderful, wonderful, wonderful staff who there just aren't enough good words in the dictionary for me to thank them with. I can't say enough wonderful things. I'm so privileged to be a member of this team, and we really are a team, and I want to just take a moment to have us all, they're going to kill me for this, to have us all hold hands as a family. That's your cue, Craig. For just a second. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. And I'm not supposed to be doing this right now, but I just have to thank Amber Goodwin and Renee Hartley, who made this convention possible. Thank you so much. They're going to get thanked again later, don't you worry, but I had to do it myself too. And there's another member of the YDA family who gets overlooked an awful lot. And I'm very upset that she couldn't be here with us tonight for this moment. So I'm going to ask Chris to come up on stage and accept a gift on behalf of his amazing wife, Allison Galloway, who has put up with all of us for far too long. So Chris, is Chris even in the room? Okay, well, Allison Galloway, who is a member of the YDA family, couldn't be here, but we love her very much and wanted to recognize her as well. So now I'm making us run over schedule, and Chris is mad at me, so I'm going to leave.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back one more time your co-chairs for the 2007 National Convention. From the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Clinton Bench, and from Texas, Juan Ayala.
Goes first.
I know.
Oh, it's just me.
Well,
Sorry.
Huh?
No, it's fine. No, it's you. At this time, we want to bring to mind a number of people who made this convention possible and what I would like to think a tremendous success. And that is the amazing group of people, young, middle, old, brand new Democrats who took time to be here with you and I, even though they weren't members of chapters, even though they weren't involved in this organization, but because they believe in the values of the Democratic Party, they believe that Dallas and Texas has a place on the national stage, and they, like all other Texans, are good hosts. So for those 100 or so people who joined us as volunteers, would you please stand at this time? And let us recognize these people who did an amazing job for us. Absolutely amazing. We could not have done it without you. We owe you a debt of gratitude, and we will not forget your work. Thank you.
Thank you again, volunteers. Now, while this volunteer operation was very much a team effort, there are 4 people in particular who spent the last 5 days, practically 24/7, overseeing specific convention functions. Everyone, this is important. First, you don't want me to send the sergeant at arms out after you now, do you? First was the person back behind the curtain. She was making sure that everyone on stage walked out at just the right time and went out at just the right exit. She's our stage manager, Abigail Treblecock. We bring them up. Abby, come on up to the stage, wherever you are. Come on up. There we go. Yeah, Abby. And when I call you up, just come right on up to the stage. Then there were the people who managed various calls from local newspapers and Fox television affiliates and press representatives from as far as Denmark. I'd like to recognize Sarah Duncan from the Dallas County Host Committee, as well as Bill Buck, our YDA press consultant. Come on up. And finally was the man who took on the Herculean task of coordinating and directing nearly 100 local volunteers who gave you all directions all week and led you to dinners and made sure you were wearing all these nifty credentials. I took mine off. They are nice credentials, aren't they, this week? I'd like to call to the stage our volunteer coordinator, Graham McCall. One more big round of applause for these wonderful volunteers.
I'm a hugger. We get to leave now, right?
Yes, you do. Now, obviously there were a lot of volunteers who worked several hours, but these folks were at a meeting every morning at 7:30 in the morning and another meeting every night at 11 p.m., and they put in a tremendous amount of work. One more round of applause for those folks. We hope you've enjoyed this convention. It has been over a year in the making. A team from YDA and a team from Dallas came together as a single convention board to make it the success that it was. And to recognize each of these people, please welcome to the stage, well, Amy Boone, who is representing Texas. She cannot be here tonight, but Jennifer Roberts, please join us on the stage. We also have from the great state of Illinois, Brian Cross. And the voice from YDA, the voice from on high you have been hearing for the last several nights, Craig Pfeiffer. This man has worked just as hard as the rest of us, perhaps a little harder with the last-minute scripts at the last minute, and I would really like Craig for just a second to step away from the laptop and come out and join us on this stage so you can be recognized. Oh, Craig, what?
Now, one of the most important parts of the last couple of conventions held by YDA has been our skills and issues trainings that are meant to give all delegates the tools they need to bring back to their hometowns and bring more young people out to support Democrats. And on that note, I'd like to present to you the person responsible for pulling together all these trainings without a hitch, making sure the presenters had their plane tickets, getting the right PowerPoint files to the right room, and making sure that everyone knew to go one floor up for the trainings. She's a proud Dallas County Young Democrat, Renee Hartley. Renee, come on up.
Yes, you may. Sorry. In organizing this convention, there were many decisions that had to be made, and perhaps the most important one was who we were going to hire as our convention director, and we made the very wise choice of hiring Amber Goodwin. She did an amazing job of handling an ever-changing schedule, a sometimes challenging group of people, and a workload that would have devastated a lesser woman. I know that if I was ever in a position to hire Amber again, I would do it in a second. But I know that will never happen, because with her talents and skills, very soon it will be me who will be needing a job from Amber Goodwin. Fellow delegates, please welcome to the stage a miracle worker, a hand holder, and a proud Texan, Amber Goodwin. Small gifts, a small token of our esteem, a t-shirt with Dallas from the old cast, all signed by the convention staff, and a bottle of some liquid refreshment.
At this time, YDA remembers those members of our Democratic family who have passed away since our last convention.
Oh, we never know where life will take us. I know it's just a ride on the wheel, and we never know when death will shake us, and we wonder how it will feel. So goodbye, my friend. I know I'll never see you again, but the time together through all the years will take away these tears. It's okay now. Goodbye, my friend. I see a lot of things that make me crazy, and I guess I held on to you. You could have run away and left, well, maybe, but it wasn't time, and we both knew. So goodbye, my friend. I know but I'm okay now. Goodbye, my friend. You can go now. Goodbye, my friend.
Please welcome back President Chris Galloway and your co-chairs Juan Ayala and Clinton Bench.
It's you. Oh, it's you. Aren't you first? Yeah. Oh, that's right. Actually, no. This is the awards, right? So you're doing. Well, with all the speeches and music and cheering you heard today for our newly elected national officers, it's easy to think that being an officer is a glamorous job. But having been in that rodeo twice myself, how did I do there with working in the local lingo there, Juan? Thank you. Yeah, no. Anyway, having been there twice myself, I know that being an officer means having a great deal of creativity in developing the projects and programs of this organization, and a great deal of sacrifices on the parts of our spouses and boyfriends and girlfriends and families as we spend most evenings on email and conference calls and IMs, and of course, the sacrifices of our pocketbooks. Those are just some of the reasons why I'm so proud to recognize tonight your outgoing national officers of YDA. First off is Treasurer Christopher J. Anderson of Illinois. Next is Secretary Rob Dolan of the great state of Washington. Next, from the state of Nebraska. From the state of Nebraska, Vice President of Students and Youth, Jeff Liana.
But if you're gonna make a difference, if you're gonna leave your mark, you can't follow like a bunch of sheep, you gotta listen to your heart. Go busted in like old John Wayne. Sometimes you got to go against the grain.
From Puerto Rico, Vice President for Development, Francisco Domenech. From the great state of Tennessee, Vice President for Programs, Chris Anderson.
He was a veteran, a Southern Democrat. They ought to get a rich man to vote like that, singing song of the South, sweet potato pie, and I shut my mouth. Gone with the wind. There ain't no.
And next, from the great state of Ohio, DNC woman Lauren B. Good. She can't be with us tonight, so we'll also introduce our DNC man from the great state of Texas, Giovanni Garibay. From the great state of Arizona, Executive Vice President Alexis Tamarone. And finally, your outgoing president from the Commonwealth of Virginia, Chris Galloway.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the last time, your 2005 to 2007 national officers.
Every 2 years when we gather for our national convention, YDA likes to recognize both individuals and chapters who have helped advance the young voter revolution. So we're going to be giving out a number of awards tonight. The first award is for our outstanding one-time event, and the winners of this award are the Manhattan Young Democrats. We'd like to invite their president, Christina Hope, to the stage to receive the award for their Get the Red Out event. Let's give her a hand. Another representative from the Manhattan Young Democrats. Our second award for ongoing event goes to the Arkansas Young Democrats for their Facebook voter file project. Will their president, Josh Blevin, please come up to the stage? Oh, I'm sorry, maybe this might be their new president. Our next award is not one that I named or voted on. It is the Golden Ass Award, and it goes to a young Democrat that apparently has made quite an impression on the Young Democrats of America. Please welcome to the stage from the great state of Georgia, Scott Butler.
He's not here, and that's one of the reasons he wanted to live it.
This, my friends, is why I don't work in show business. I was unaware that he was unable to join us, and frankly, that helped him earn the award tonight. So, our next award is the James Earl Carter Award for a member of YDA who is about to age out of the group. Please welcome to the stage another member from the Georgia Young Democrats, Paige Gleason.
Four more awards to go. The JFK Outstanding Male Young Democrat Award is going to a very active member of one of my own region's local chapters. He's an example of what we stand for in America, that if you work hard and have the will to succeed, you can achieve anything, no matter what your background. He was the first member of his family to graduate from a university and worked his way through college as a doorman, janitor, and elevator operator. He went off to law school in D.C. and worked in the White House under President Clinton. And he served as president of his local chapter and rebuilt it after nearly a decade of inactivity. He's an inspiration to young Democrats in his community and a great friend of the organization. And what's more, he now proudly serves as a member of the council of the great city of New York. Fellow delegates, I'm pleased to present to you City Councilman Eric Goya. Eric Joya. I think somebody's going to come up to accept the award on behalf of the councilman. One more round of applause for Eric. The Outstanding Local Chapter Award goes to a chapter that organized an incredible conference called Train for Change. This all-day event gave members training on campaign skills, provided an issue school, and even promoted what they call the 7 habits of highly effective Democrats. Several of their members hold local office, including seats on the county committee, judicial delegate, and union trustee. And over the past 2 years, they've increased their outreach, diversity, and membership such that we can all be proud to give the Local Chapter of the Year award to the Manhattan Young Democrats. I'd ask the president to please come on up and receive the award. Receiving the award for Outstanding Female Young Democrat, the Frances Perkins Award, is someone who really needs no introduction to most of you in the audience tonight. I met her first when she was the president of one of our more outspoken state chapters. I was always amazed, you probably might already know who that is now. I was always amazed by how many folks this chapter brought to our national committee meetings and their efforts to host one of our national conventions about 6 years ago. She has played many roles in the party, from state executive director to managing the campaign of one of the Democrats this year who unseated a longtime Republican congressman in her hometown. But this is also a person who's very dear to me personally, having served as my counterpart on the DNC 2 terms ago, and always providing a shoulder to lean on, always having an ear I can bend, and really the one who understands best what can only be called my own neurotic behavior sometimes, obsessing over details of national meetings and communications or whatnot. Fellow delegates, I'm truly honored to present to you one of my heroes and one of my best friends in this great organization, our outgoing Executive Vice President, Alexis Tamarone, from the great state of Arizona. Come on up. Our final award recognizes the outstanding chartered unit, our state, and that goes to a group that has joined us here in great numbers this week. They've added over 1,800 new young activists over the past 2 years and implemented their first ever small recurring donor program modeled after the Tomorrow Club. They've doubled the number of chartered local chapters and even hired a full-time executive director. Fellow delegates, please congratulate the Arkansas Young Democrats. One more round of applause for our 8 award winners.
Congratulations again to all the award winners. Before I let our 2 co-chairs go, we would be remiss in not presenting them with something too. They put up with all of YDA's large demands. They put up with a board of directors established for the first time for the convention to make it run smoothly. They helped us hire 2 great convention staff and integrate fully with the YDA staff that we already had existing. They had to put up with me a lot more often than they would have liked to. And while I've known Clinton for a number of years and consider him one of my best friends in the organization, I've really been pleased to get to know Juan as we've worked together over the last year to host this national convention. On behalf of all of you convention delegates, on behalf of the convention staff, the YDA staff, and everyone here who had an amazing time at this wonderful convention, I'm happy to present a small token of our appreciation to our co-chairs, Clinton Bench and Juan Ayala, and I hope that you will stand and join me in honoring them for their work. Thank you. I'm not sure why the slide doesn't say final remarks, but that's what this section is called. The final remarks that I get to make to this body as I get ready to ceremoniously hand the gavel over, even if not so in technicality, which happened several hours ago. I want to thank you, friends, thank you, guests, and thank you, fellow Democrats, young and old. I'm very glad to be delivering my first speech as President Emeritus. Trying to do the thank yous for my 10 years in YDA, all the people that have helped us, all the people that have made a difference, would be a bit too much tonight, but I did want to name a few. First of all, thank you so much again to the Dallas County Young Democrats for such an amazing convention. And especially to Juan Ayala and Amber Goodwin, without whose work this definitely would not have been possible. I also want to single out Craig Pfeiffer and Abby Treblecock, who, while they weren't able to join us for many national committee meetings this last 2 years, answered the call when I said, I need you for a few days in Dallas. They gladly came and worked their butts off the last 4 days, and I really owe them a debt of gratitude. My chief of staff for the last 4 years wasn't able to be here this weekend. He's moving. He's finally left academia and is now getting a real job. Jeff Lake was one of the first people that recruited me to be involved nationally with YDA. I was in Kansas and he was in Iowa. And even though he's not here tonight, fortunately we're recording this and it'll be on YouTube later if Tony is as good as we think he is in the national office. And so I want to thank Jeff for encouraging me to get involved and encouraging me to participate. I also, again, want to recognize our female Young Democrat of the Year, Alexis Tamron. She was the only one crazy enough to run with me 2 times on the Galloway ticket and has often been the voice of reason. What she likes to say is she comes and bails my ass out, which I think is appropriate too. I also want to give another special recognition to someone over the last several years who's become a great friend, who's always there at a national meeting when we need him, there to pick me up at the airport when I visit Chicago. Whatever needs to happen, Brian Cross takes care of it. I value our friendship, and I'm so glad to have had this time to spend with you, Brian. The last officer or organizer I want to thank is Clinton Bench. When we needed someone to co-chair the convention last year that was on its way into uncharted waters, Clinton stepped up and took over the role, and most of you got to recognize him and learn from him as the co-chair of our last convention. And I don't really know what he was thinking when he said yes again to co-chairing this convention, but I'm glad he did. I'll never forgive Clinton because when I first ran for office, I ran for treasurer, but I wanted to run for secretary. But Clinton had already lined that up, so I wasn't allowed to run for secretary. I had to run for treasurer. But it turned out campaign finance and lots of potential money paved the way to change the first steps of YDA, so I got in the right place, even though it wasn't what I wanted. But Clinton has been a great friend, and as he ages out and as Brian Cross age out, they will definitely be missed by this organization, and I can't express enough how important that Clinton has been to me as an officer over the last 6 years. I also want to thank the national staff again and our state staff. You know, when I started, Simone Ward was our executive director, and then Jane Fleming was our executive director, and then Al Acker is our executive director. So I'm not sure how I've survived 3 different executive directors. all of whom very strong-willed, independent women who often butt heads in the direction that I wanted to go in the organization. But they have been amazing and they've been great, and they will certainly take as much credit as I have for the transformation of the organization, and they deserve it. Our national office staff, a round of applause. Our national office staff, which has now existed but didn't before, has been amazing too. They're a terribly dedicated and talented group of individuals. I'm so excited that even though I won't be dealing with them day-to-day basis on YDA politics anymore, that at least 3 members of our national staff are members of the wiffle ball team that I play on. I am the manager. I also want to thank our state executive directors who have certainly helped build our program. And though I didn't get to spend as much time with them, they definitely care about the organization. I think you saw on screen today, they have values and beliefs and are great representatives for Democrats out there every day, and they're important to YDA as we grow. I also want to recognize my family who's been able to join me here tonight. My grandmother, Dorothy, my parents, Ron and Joyce. They drove down from my hometown of Dwight, Kansas, and that lowered the population by about 10% when they left town. My wife, Allison, who you all got to hear from Thursday night when she introduced my president's report, is literally in a car on the way back from Abilene, Texas right now, and is running late, so won't be able to join her. But she's been a tremendously important part of making sure I was able to do the work that I thought was important for Young Democrats. I definitely couldn't have made it through the first term, the second term, or the third term as an officer without her support. And hopefully, she'll be able to find something as crazy as YDA that she likes to do, and I'll be able to support her and help her in the future. It has been an honor, a real honor to serve this organization over the last 6 years. When I think of all the emails, the phone calls, the conference calls, the national meetings, it's really been a significant amount of my adult life. And I certainly would not have invested that kind of time if I didn't believe the work that we all do is important. And as much as I sometimes hate having to talk to people or be a people person, it's the people in this room, and the thousands of Young Democrats all across this country who work hard every day to defend our values and defend the promise of our country's future that have kept me coming back, that have kept me energized about doing this work. And I know that's a lot of the reason why you all come here too. The fact that you are here, the fact that we keep having these discussions makes me proud of the work that we do. This past April was the 10th anniversary of my first participation in a YDA meeting. After serving as a college YD president, state president in Kansas, regional director for the Midwest region, treasurer, and finally president, I've had a unique experience to understand our role as an organization and our place, not only in our party, but in shaping the lives that we all live. As someone who believes in what you do about this country, I can think of nothing better than to have spent the night here with you, and I can think of nothing more worth my time and my energy than to have spent the last 10 years trying to make a difference with all of you working together. Thank you so much. Thank you. It is now, thank you. Thank you. It is now my favorite part of the night. It is my pleasure to ceremonially transfer the gavel to your new president. David technically has been president since we adjourned the general session at 4:30 today. I'm not sure if he knew that, actually. However, since you all bolted out of the room well before the final gavel fell, we felt it would be more fitting to do this ceremony tonight, where you can see it. When I decided to run for re-election in YDA, something that was never done, David Hart was one of the first guys that lined up to support me and encouraged me to run and wrote me a check. He's been a strong supporter of making YDA more relevant and building our organization for the future. As the first openly gay president in our history, coming from a state like Texas, David has shown that he can achieve and he can excel even against those who would want to keep you from reaching your goals. I have been honored to call him my friend. I know that he will live up to the expectations we all share for him and honor the faith that we have entrusted to him. I am confident that the future of YDA is in good hands with David and his entire team of national officers. Ladies and gentlemen, your president and mine, Mr. David Hart. Mr. President, are you prepared to take the oath?
Mr. President, I am, sir.
Please raise your hand and repeat after me. I solemnly swear.
I solemnly swear.
To fulfill the obligations, duties, and responsibilities.
To fulfill the obligations, duties, and responsibilities.
Of the office to which I have been elected.
Of the office to which I have been elected.
And I promise to uphold and defend the Charter.
And I promise to uphold and defend the Charter.
To advance the highest principles.
To advance the highest principles.
Of the Young Democrats of America.
Of the Young Democrats of America.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
The President of the Young Democrats of America, David Hart.
I don't think President Galloway knows what he's doing when he gave me this. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for electing me as your new president. It is a great honor. I'll try not to cry. It is true. I am an openly gay man in the state of Texas. And God bless the Democratic Party, because this is the only place that I would ever be allowed to serve as national president. Thank you. Yes, they should have had some Kleenex up here. I'm sure you all know how historic that is, but to me it's just a phenomenal honor to be serving as your new president. I want to thank the Dallas County Young Democrats. I'm sure you've all heard it, but That's where I got my start in Democratic politics. And if you're a member of the Dallas County Young Democrats or a former member of the Dallas County Young Democrats, if you would please stand, because these are the people that built my career in the Democratic Party. I'd also like to ask if there are any elected officials from Dallas County here, if you wouldn't mind standing. As we've said it over and over again, you are now in a blue county in one of the reddest states in the country, and it's to these fine people that got elected in this county that are changing this state into a Democratic state. I'd also like to thank everyone who worked on this election and this campaign. Emily Beard, Billy Joyner. I know there's a host of other people I'm going to forget right now, but especially to Rachel Morse, my campaign manager. Oh, please go ahead and stand. You deserve it. And I know I'm forgetting everyone else who worked on the campaign, but if you did work on the campaign, please keep standing. These people did a wonderful job. Thank you so much. I'd also like to thank our outgoing president, Mr. Galloway. He's a wonderful man. And as I said earlier, this organization would be absolutely nothing if it wasn't for his leadership. We owe everything in this organization to that man. I only hope that I can do at half as well as he did at building this organization. And I know the teleprompter is going to get mad at me, but I'm going to move out of what's supposed to be on the teleprompter because I'm just nervous as all get out. I want to tell you about some of the people that were elected from Texas. We'll start with the presidents. There are 3 people from the state of Texas that have been elected while living in this state. But only one of them is a true Texan. You see, George Herbert Walker Bush, well, he's from Massachusetts. Where is Massachusetts? Anytime you want him back, you can take him. Well, and as for W, he's from Connecticut. Born and bred, and I hate to say it to the Connecticut Young Democrats because I love all of you for supporting me, but you can have him back at any time you want. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you there is only one true Texan to ever hold the post of president, and that is Mr. Lyndon Johnson. And as all of you know, his wonderful wife, Lady Bird, passed away this past week. She was a great friend to this country. She taught America how to be beautiful, and she taught Americans how to be beautiful on the inside. And quite honestly, folks, that's what this country needs again, because the rest of the world wants us to be beautiful again, not only our country, but beautiful on the inside again. Now, I was supposed to talk to you about my vision tonight. Well, I'm sure you're probably all tired of hearing the vision, because quite honestly, the vision is Mr. Chris Galloway's. And I will continue to build on his vision. Ladies and gentlemen, before we bring out the next, or the next group of officers to lead this great great organization, I'd like to say a final thanks to my partner in life, Mr. Stephen Hartzell. Truly, I would not be here if it were not for him being by my side at all times. He, many times during this campaign, he would have to wake me up at 4 o'clock in the morning or tell me to get out of bed, to go get on calls, or to get on a plane, to go campaign. And I truly am thank you to you for being there by my side. And I can't wait to share this new journey with you. Thank you so much. And on a final note, I don't think that it should be remarks about me or YDA, but we should give a huge round of applause to the men and women that have worked to take care of all of us, because that is what the Democratic Party stands for, the working men and women of this country. So I want everyone up on their feet. On your feet, people. We've talked a lot about staff, volunteers, and everyone else in YDA, but it's the men and women of this hotel that made this possible. They worked day and night to give us all this food and all this entertainment, and we thank them for their service to us. And now, I'd like to introduce to you your new officers for the Young Democrats of America. First, one of my closest friends and my running mate, the great Mr. Chris Anderson, your new Executive Vice President from the great state of Tennessee. And of course, you all know our new National Committee man, or our Democratic National Committee man, from the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, Francisco Dominic. And only in YDA can we have such a stylish Democratic National Committee woman from the great state of California, Crystal Strait. And there's also another stylish person coming up to the stage. She's someone I have to say a personal note about. She has worked tremendously for this ticket, coming on early on in the game, and she's been such a close friend of mine, and I'm so proud that she's on this ticket with me. Vice President Ashanti Fayshel Goler from the great state of Nevada.
That I can be. I choose to be authentic in everything
And you guys all know this guy. He can give a rip-roaring speech. From the great state of Florida, Vice President Omar Khan.
And I'm gon' shine on into my heart. Stop your head, envy me. I'm
Champs MVP, and I ain't going nowhere, so you can get to know me. Hated and love the underdogs on top, and I'm gonna shine no matter.
I'm afraid to call the next vice president because there's going to be a rip-roaring yell from these guys, and it's probably going to go something like Razorback something, I don't know, but we don't know what that means in Texas. A dear friend of mine, Vice President Josh Blevins from the state of Arkansas. Our treasurer, she might be little, but she sure packs a mighty punch. From the Commonwealth of Virginia, Amy Lewis. And last but not least, where are the New Yorkers in the crowd? Your favorite daughter and our new secretary, Stephanie Hausner. I guess I broke the microphone. Little do these officers know, the work's already about to start. Guys, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, executive committee meeting, Suite 410. That's for everyone else on the executive committee if you didn't get that. Suite 410, 10 a.m., and Rachel Morris will call and wake you up. Tower Royale, I've just been told. Are you guys ready to be official members of YDA? Repeat after me. I solemnly swear to fulfill the obligations and duties and responsibilities of the office to which I have been elected, and I promise to uphold and defend the Charter to advance the highest principles of the Young Democrats of America. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are your 2007-2009 national officers.
I don't know if y'all noticed that, but they already tried to push me off the stage. And I do apologize. It's the first time for me doing it, so you have to work with me. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this great convention. I'm so honored to be your new president. Thank you, good night, and God bless America, and God bless the Young Democrats of America.